Get ready for round one.
This is Transformers Wild King versus Transformers Cyberworld. And yeah, one for the East and one for everyone else, because unlike Wild King, Cyberworld's been dubbed into multiple languages. It's been dubbed into Spanish, aka Espanol, into German, aka Dutch, into French, some kind of like French-Canadian, I don't know what's up with that, but French, Portuguese, and as far as I know, that's... Oh, and Italian. I'm not sure about the Japanese dub. I haven't seen anything about that. I haven't seen the Japanese dub for Cyberworld yet. But as for Wild King, there is a fan dub in English. There's the fan dub. And then there's another fan dub in Turkish, I believe. And as far as dubs for Wild King, those aren't official, but that's it for Wild King. Just English and Portuguese. No, sorry, Turkish. But even then, those fan dubs are like way the heck behind. At the time of me recording this, we're 9 episodes into Wild King, and those dubs are... The English fan dub is only up to episode 4, but the English fan subs are only up to episode 5, so... Oh, you're missing some context. But anyways, so here we're going to compare the shows, and we're 4 episodes into Cyberworld and 9 episodes into Wild King, and then it's pretty obvious. Alright, so... Wild King came out in March, and then Cyberworld came out in July, and they're roughly around the same length. Unlike Cyberworld's episodes, so the way Cyberworld releases its new episodes, it like bundles 2 episodes together. So when we got episode 4, it is about no way. Am I tripping right now? Because I'm looking at the runtime for... I think I'm tripping. Am I tripping? Are the episodes for Cyberworld even shorter than I thought? Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is live recording right now. Cyberworld's episodes are like 4 minutes, aren't they? Okay, yeah, I'm tripping. Okay, yeah, they are 4 episodes. So Cyberworld's episodes are 5 minutes, sorry. They range from 4 to 5 minutes. But unlike then Wild King's episodes, aside from the first one, they run for 4 minutes, and then the rest of the runtime is dedicated to a toy commercial. So, yeah, so they're about the same runtime. So let's get into the story. So we don't have any official translations for Wild King, so just putting that out there. We're all going off fan subs and fan dubs. And for anyone who watched the fan dub, I'm producing that on my EMP Studios channel. So if you're watching it on there, thank you very much, and I'm so sorry for the long wait. But yeah, so Wild King, the story takes place in the future. Autobots and... I'm not sure. It's not made very clear on what Autobots and Decepticons are exactly, because Optimus and Megatron are wearing their faction symbols, but at the beginning, they're friends until Megatron turns evil. And then, they start fighting. But we're not really sure how the universe here works. It's kept very vague, and I guess ultimately it doesn't really matter. So yeah, Optimus Prime goes to Elementros to try to find his pal, Megatron, and then he meets Longlight, and then from there they find Megatron, and then they start going so yeah, then they start fighting, and that's episode 1, and then the rest of the story we just meet new characters. They just keep fighting with just, combinations and energy blasts. Oh wait, I forgot about episode 5 where Ignite Leo actually punches. Alright, so we're gonna start comparing. Oh, let's talk about Cyberworld. So we're only 4 episodes in, and the story's a bit more interesting. So again, everything's kept vague, and at the end of episode 4, Skybite relays to Megatron that Optimus is there, and Megatron's all like, "How disappointing." The story of Cyberworld: Optimus crash lands on the Cyberworld, I guess that's what it's called. And they just have to fight some other bots, such as Grimlock and I think it's Snarl. Yeah, it's Snarl. And just survive on the island. Which is pretty interesting. There's a lot of mystery, like how did we get here? It's like a little flashback where Bumblebee's running up to Optimus. And he's like, "Optimus, no!" And then it looks like he's about to blow up. But yeah, basically, no one remembers. Well, it's not that no one remembers. I'm just remembering something wrong. And then we also meet Alita, and then apparently freaking Wheeljack is dead. Either that or just Alita doesn't know if he's alive or not, but she says he's gone, in quotation marks, aka he is dead, along with some others. Also, Skybite is there. That's pretty cool. Skybite was also in Cyberworld. Alright, so let's start comparing the shows. Now, also, I gotta say, why is it whenever there's the Cyber, whenever there's like, when Hasbro uses, like anytime there's a new Transformer show, or when there's a Transformer show and it has the word Cyber in it, it's like always like this low budget thing. Cyber Missions, remember that? Cyberverse. Now, I'm not saying Cyberverse was low budget, but it was, each episode was only 10 minutes long, and wait, was it a web series? No, because it aired. I remember specifically, season 3 aired, like way before it was put onto YouTube. So, and it looks good too, but it was definitely, you can't deny, smaller budget. And then here we have Cyberworld, which Cyberworld, the episodes are 4 minutes long, so I mean, it doesn't look bad. It does look a little cheap, but we're gonna get into that. All right, so let's start. Let's get the super obvious thing out of the way. The animation. Obviously, Cyberworld has way better, more expressive animation than Wild King. Wild King is super freaking stiff. I will give it this though. I do like that the mouth flaps don't move, but that's just because I'm fan dubbing the show, so that makes it super easy to like act in. But I have to think about it from a non-fan. Yeah, it is pretty annoying, just like ever. It is really annoying to see characters not have face expressions, and they're super freaking stiff. I remember the first thing I thought when I saw footage for the show was, wow, this just looks like a toy commercial. Something super cheap. And then, yeah, so, and then the, it's to go from Wild King to Cyberworld is such a trip, dude, because you watch Wild King, no expressions, the movement is super freaking stiff. Reminds me of Energon, actually, how the, like, when they would turn, they just, like, turn. It looked like it just didn't look natural. And then in Cyberworld, they're like, super expressive, like, so much attitude, too. So, yeah, and their mouths move, too. Super expressive, the lighting, there's just a lot more budget in Cyberworld, which is pretty ironic since they both run for the same amount of time, but alright, so obviously, yeah, got that out of the way. Let's talk about designs. So we're gonna start off with Optimus. Which Optimus? I'm looking at these two side by side, and they got a lot of similarities. Look at the, okay, not to sound gay, but look at the look at the crotch. They both have yellow at the crotch, which is, okay, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the window. Okay, my screen is not loading. Alright, I do have a lot of tabs open right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, let's see. Optimus and Wild King looks pretty, I don't know. It's just Optimus Prime. It's like the G1 design with just like more detail on it. With the extra detail on it. And then the Cyberworld design, I don't like the wheels on the hands, on the arms, beneath his arms. It just looks wrong. Also, why does he only have 4 wheels? It should be 6, but that's just a minor nitpick. I think the chest on Wild King Optimus looks better than the one on Cyberworld. I honestly, they just look too similar for me to pick which one's better. Wild King Optimus has the 6 wheels. See, Wild King Optimus has got it right. Also, I don't like that the smokestacks go under when Optimus Prime transforms. The smokestacks go under. They're at the bottom of the vehicle mode, which is weird. You might as well just not have the smokestacks if they're gonna be on the bottom. But whatever. But we're just talking about the design here. Which I'm gonna go with Wild King on this one. Wild King Optimus has the better design. All right, let's talk about Megatron, and I think it's pretty obvious here. Mega Bull takes the win for this one. Now, this is a pretty unique design, and it works very well. He's he's dark, and then Wild King. You know, it's pretty ironic. Cyberworld, Megatron is an animal, and then in Wild King, he's just a tank or whatever he is. Yeah, the toy transforms into a tank. Yeah, he's a tank. So it's pretty ironic, you know. You know what I'm saying. You know, the Transformers show focusing on Beast, Megatron is just a tank, and then the Transformers show that focuses on whatever it's focusing on is Megatron's a Beast. So, yeah. And then we have Bumblebee versus Longlight. Bumblebee, I don't hate this design. It looks fine. He looks like a Hot Wheels toy. Yeah, like when I look at him, he just looks like a Hot Wheels. That's pretty cool. And then I like Longlight's designs pretty cool. I like the designs for the Energy Beasts. They're very, except for what's his name? Spirit. I don't even know how to pronounce this dude's name. Spiritron. I think I'm gonna go with Spiritron. Except for his design, I don't really like his design. But everyone else, yeah, the Energy Beast's design nailed it. So yeah, and we only have 4 episodes, so I don't want to compare the rest of the designs, but yeah, Wild King's just so forgettable. Episode 1 and 2, which are slammed together, it's pretty fun. Episode 3 picks it up with a nice fight. Episode 4 is kind of boring. I mean, it's funny to hear. It's funny to hear a Hydrophant just screaming his head off, but if you're not a fan of that, it gets pretty old. Episode 5, yeah, we get some action. Actually, episode 5 is pretty good. There's like some more hand-to-hand, not super hand-to-hand, more like sword to chest action there, you know. And then episode 6, what happens in episode 6? Oh yeah, we get introduction of 2 new characters of Drillnohorn and Thunderbeak. Yeah, I think Thunderbeak is that individual's name. It's not made clear if Thunderbeak is female. Thunderbeak looks like, when I first saw the design, I saw it through the toy, and I was all like, oh look, it looks like a Seeker. But when you look at the face and when you hear the voice, it looks like a woman. The Thunderbeak's face and voice looks feminine. Just the body looks very bulky, but that's not unusual. I mean, freaking look at Alita 1's design in Cyberworld. It looks terrible, but she's still female. I don't. This is a good transition. No, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, but the TF Wiki says that Thunderbeak is male, but I don't understand. Says who exactly? Sugoi-wa. I like Drillnohorn's voice. He sounds like an old man with a bunch of spunk left in him. But yeah, I'm gonna say Thunderbeak's female, just because the head looks feminine and it sounds like girl. And if you're saying, oh well, in Japan for like young characters, they'll get women. Okay, yeah, that's true. But there's a certain, you can tell, like, that does not sound like a boy, like, at all. Like, there's a certain sound, like, listen to Naruto's voice in the original Japanese. You can tell you can still tell it's a woman, but you can tell, like, the woman is sounding like a dude. Like, there's a sounds like a dude. And Thunderbeak does not sound anything like a dude, like, in the slightest at all. It sounds like a 30-year-old woman, but, yeah. And then we're just going to jump to the latest episodes 8 and 9. Episode 8 was and that's another thing about this show, is that the subtitles on the episodes themselves are not reliable. The subtitles are late to translate, and they're not accurate translations at all. So you just kind of have to sit there and listen to these robots speak in a language you can't understand. Maybe you could pick up a few words, and it's not anything deep. You can take a wild guess at what they're saying, and you're most likely going to be right. But I don't know what was going on in episode 8. I just saw Nemesis Prime was there, and it was beating up Optimus Prime, and then Optimus Prime freaking grew wings, and then RID 2001 Megatron showed up. Like, what's going on here? That was a nice episode. And then episode 9, the latest episode, was just, I don't even know what was going on. Freaking, what's his name? The dinosaur, Captain Volca. He looks weird. I thought he looked weird when he first showed up, being Megatron's arm, and then he looks weird by himself. So yeah, those are my... Okay, we're not really comparing the shows anymore. I'm just rambling on right now. But yeah, Cyberworld, let's compare the action. The action in Wild King is it varies. Most of the time, I'd say it's more like shooting. like we're shooting at each other. There are a few times where they throw down, like in the second episode where Optimus and Megatron throw down, and then Ignite Leo versus Optimus and Longley, and Optimus versus Nemesis Prime, and then Megatron versus Captain Volca. But those fights were like super short and weren't anything. They're just like one punch or two punches or something like that. They're super short and not very exciting or very fast. And then most of the time it's just Optimus Prime combining with some of the energy beasts and just going like and then winning. And then so far for Cyberworld, the action is a lot more creative. Like in episode 4, freaking like shot an arrow in Skybite's feet, and like Alita 1 was like twisting him around or something like that. It's way more faster. It's way more exciting. So action goes to Cyberworld. Let's talk about characters. Optimus Prime. We're gonna start with Optimus Prime. Cyberworld takes the cake on that. He's a lot more. It's a different take on Optimus. It's a slight different take on Optimus. He acts more like a dude, just like in Cyberworld. He's just like one of the dudes. I noted when he was falling, the sounds he was making when Optimus is falling. He goes like right here on this frame. He goes like hi-ya. I thought that was weird. I was like, that's a interesting sound to make when you fall. But according to my coworkers, I make a bunch of sounds when I fall, and I'm not denying that either, actually. But whatever. So I thought that was interesting. Optimus and Wild King, he's more like whatever. He's like just a dude, an older dude. He's kind of he's boring, but Cyberworld Optimus is a nice breath of fresh air, something slightly new, something familiar but something new at the same time. And then let's talk about Longlight and Bumblebee, because they're basically, Longlight is like the substitute for Bumblebee, and Wild King. I like Longlight better just because he's different from Bumblebee. He's got a better design. I don't know. Longlight feels just like he feels like a teenager, just going like. He's like a kind, like how do I say this? He's like one of those teenagers who's like the nice one. Like the nice teenager. He's all like, I can see like Longlight opening the door for an old lady and helping her across the street. With Bumblebee, on the other hand, he feels like a dude. He's trying too hard. And then as for the Megatrons, there seems to be a little more. Again, there is a language barrier, a subtitle barrier actually, where there's no accurate, aside from this YouTube channel right here, False Convoy, doing the translations. He's not doing them as the episodes are coming out, so it's either you have to wait or just watch inaccurate translations. So yeah, but my point was that there could be something going on with Megatron and Wild King, but I don't know what it is. But I know what's But I know what's going on with Cyberworld Megatron. He seems a bit more interesting. Still the same, but just a bit more interesting. Because, in the second episode, he's all like, "Oh yeah," what does he say? He says, "Oh yeah, we're just all here to survive," and then he freaking turns on Bumblebee. But yeah, also Cyberworld's a lot funny. It actually got some laughs out of me. The only thing I can think of right now is in the latest episode where Bumblebee's all like, "Watch this," and then that tube hits him. Oh, and then when him and Optimus are trying to break the tube, it's like the trees are only going after him even when he's in car mode. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, so overall, Cyberworld, even though we're only 4 episodes in, is the better show. Much more expressive animation, more interesting characters. Well, I'd say characters. Who has them? Well, Wild King, it's been out for longer and it's got more characters. And those characters are very entertaining. And they got better designs for the most part, with a few exceptions. Oh, Grimlock. Grimlock's something. Grimlock's pretty cool. I like the gun. I like how he transforms the same way that Beast Wars Megatron transforms. Yeah, people. So go watch both. That's the moral of the story. But as far as right now, Cyberworld is better. It's a better show. Wild King, it is what it is.